Jaguar Wright recently made headlines by crashing Sean Diddy Combs' ongoing legal trial, bringing with her explosive new evidence that could significantly impact the case. According to reports and commentary surrounding the event, Jaguar reportedly entered the courtroom with tapes involving Bryshere Gray, best known for his role on the hit show Empire, that allegedly revealed disturbing details about Diddy's activities. This move has reignited public interest in the broader allegations against Diddy, particularly those concerning his alleged exploitation of young men under the guise of mentorship programs. The tapes Jaguar brought into court reportedly contain conversations or recordings where Diddy is heard engaging in explicit behavior or discussions with Bryshere Gray when he was just 17 years old. Jaguar has been vocal about her belief that Diddy, along with other powerful figures like Will Smith, used their influence to manipulate and exploit vulnerable young men in the entertainment industry. Her actions have been seen as a direct challenge to Diddy's attempts to control the narrative around his trial and avoid deeper scrutiny. Bryshere Gray, also known as Yaz the Greatest, or simply Basher, first gained notoriety through his acting career, particularly his role on Empire. However, over the past several years, his personal life has become increasingly tumultuous, marked by legal troubles, erratic behavior, and public breakdowns. Jaguar Wright has long claimed that this downward spiral began after Gray was introduced to Diddy and Will Smith under the pretense of mentorship. She alleges that instead of receiving guidance and support, Gray was subjected to inappropriate and abusive situations that left lasting psychological damage. According to Jaguar, these mentorship programs were, in reality, fronts for predatory behavior. She claims that Diddy and Will Smith allegedly took turns sexually assaulting Gray during his teenage years, and later passed him around to other influential figures in Hollywood and the music industry. These allegations are supported by anecdotal accounts from people close to the situation, including neighbors of Will Smith who reportedly witnessed Gray and Meek Mill fleeing Smith's home in a state of undress and distress. While no official charges have been filed against Diddy or Will Smith in connection with these specific claims, the testimonies and evidence being presented are raising serious concerns about what may have occurred behind closed doors. One of the most shocking aspects of Jaguar's revelations is the claim that Charlie Mack, a former manager and mentor figure in Gray's life, was complicit in facilitating these encounters. According to Jaguar, Mack acted as a go-between, ensuring that Gray remained accessible to Diddy and Smith, while keeping any potential fallout quiet. Furthermore, she accuses Gray's own mother, Andrea Mayberry, of being aware of and even approving of what was happening to her son in exchange for financial benefits or career opportunities. Jaguar has described Mayberry as someone who prioritized fame and money over her son's well-being. She claims that Mayberry knew about the abuse but chose to remain silent, allowing it to continue unchecked. This assertion adds another layer of tragedy to the story, suggesting that Gray was not only betrayed by the powerful men who abused him, but also by the very person who should have protected him the most. Gray's mental health appears to have deteriorated rapidly after these experiences. Once a rising star in the entertainment world, he has since struggled with addiction, emotional instability, and violent outbursts. In 2022, he was arrested and convicted for aggravated assault against a woman he had been dating at the time. Earlier incidents include a dramatic standoff with police in Goodyear, Arizona, where SWAT teams were called in to extract him from his home after he refused to come out voluntarily. His mugshots following these arrests shocked fans, showing a man who looked unrecognizable compared to his earlier days on Empire. Jaguar believes that Gray's descent into chaos was directly tied to the trauma inflicted upon him during his time with Diddy and Smith. She has repeatedly emphasized that many of the young men who attended Diddy's infamous parties or participated in his so-called mentorship programs ended up broken, discarded, and unable to recover from the psychological toll of their experiences. She argues that Diddy's network of powerful allies, including celebrities, executives, and law enforcement officials, allowed him to operate without consequence for far too long. However, the recent surge in attention surrounding Diddy's legal troubles suggests that this may be changing, with Cassie's lawsuit making waves, and now Jaguar introducing new evidence involving Gray. Prosecutors appear to be taking a closer look at the wider implications of Diddy's actions. The tapes Jaguar submitted to the court are said to contain audio of Diddy speaking candidly about his interactions with Gray, possibly implicating himself further in the process. If authenticated and admitted into court proceedings, these tapes could serve as critical pieces of evidence in building a stronger case against Diddy. Additionally, Jaguar has hinted at the existence of a secret video recording featuring Diddy, Will Smith, Jaden Smith, Justin Bieber, and Gray engaged in a group sexual encounter. While there is currently no confirmation that such footage exists or will ever surface, the mere suggestion has sent shockwaves through the media landscape. If proven true, this would represent one of the most damning pieces of evidence yet against Diddy, and potentially implicate some of the biggest names in music and film. Critics of Jaguar argue that her motivations may not be entirely altruistic. Some believe she is capitalizing on the scandal to gain attention or settle personal scores. Others question the veracity of her claims, pointing out that many of them rely on hearsay or second-hand accounts rather than concrete proof. However, supporters counter that regardless of her intentions, the information she brings forward deserves to be investigated thoroughly. They argue that if even a fraction of what she says is true, it points to a deeply entrenched culture of abuse within the entertainment industry that needs to be exposed and addressed. In response to these developments, Diddy's legal team has remained largely silent, choosing not to engage directly with the allegations being made by Jaguar and others. Meanwhile, representatives for Will Smith have also declined to comment, likely due to the sensitive nature of the accusations and the potential legal ramifications involved. As more details emerge, it remains to be seen whether either party will issue formal statements or take legal action against those making these claims. What is clear, however, is that the tide is turning against Diddy. The mounting pressure from multiple directions, Cassie's lawsuit, Jaguar's testimony, and the introduction of new evidence, has put him on the defensive in a way that few could have predicted just a year ago. Whether or not he ultimately faces criminal charges, the reputational damage alone could be devastating to his career and legacy. Jaguar Wright has positioned herself as one of the key figures in this unfolding drama, determined to see justice served not just for Gray, but for all those who may have suffered under Diddy's influence. She has expressed confidence that more individuals will come forward in the coming months, bringing with them additional stories and evidence that could further unravel the carefully constructed image Diddy has maintained for decades. In interviews and social media posts, Jaguar has framed her actions as part of a larger reckoning within the entertainment industry, one that goes beyond Diddy and touches on systemic issues of power, privilege and exploitation. She has called for greater accountability among industry leaders, and urged victims to speak out despite the risks involved. Her message resonates with those who believe that the time for silence is over, and that the truth must finally come to light, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. As the trial continues, all eyes will be on how the courts handle the new evidence being presented. Legal experts suggest that proving intent and establishing a direct link between Diddy's actions and the harm suffered by individuals like Gray will be crucial in determining the outcome of the case. Prosecutors will need to build a compelling narrative backed by credible witnesses and corroborating documentation if they hope to secure a conviction. For now, Jaguar Wright's bold move in walking into Diddy's trial with incriminating tapes has ensured that the conversation around abuse, consent and power dynamics in the entertainment world remains front and center. Whether or not these tapes lead to significant legal consequences, they have already succeeded in shaking the foundations of an empire built on secrecy and silence.